Well, good morning and welcome to this week's Market Carver. I hope you've had an outstanding week. Obviously, been exciting stuff around here with Cyprus. I'm not sure if it's more like a fiscal cliff discussion, more like a sequestering discussion where it makes the news more than the reality today. But, you know, as a behavioral finance guy, I will have to tell you what's going on over there is very interesting. If you haven't caught it, Cyprus is made up of essentially two parts. The EU only recognizes the part held primarily by the Greeks. There's Turks to the northern part. But the reality is they got into the EU at a very, very bad time, January of 2008, believe it or not, invested in Greek debt, went pop with the rest of Greece. And Cyprus by itself had done reasonably well as an economy. But the big news over the weekend was that Cyprus, a very, very small economy relative to most things, 125th in the world, I believe it is, essentially said, hey, if you're a depositor in our banks, similar to our FDIC insurance, if you've got less than 100,000 euro, we're going to tax you 6.75% on the money. Now we're going to give you some bank shares maybe to make up for that. But we're going to take that amount of money out of your account. If you have more than 100, we're going to go up to above 9%. Now that's a heck of a weekend thing. And, you know, as small as it is, it doesn't matter to a large degree unless you happen to be in Cyprus or have money there. The problem is the IMF and the EU both signed off. That is what genuinely concerns us and things that we have to be very, very cautious of going forward. So we'll keep you abreast. Alan Greenspan back out in action. You remember Greenspan from his days of being the Fed Reserve Chairman for years, the one that issued irrational exuberance before the tech wreck of 2000. Then he turned around and said, hey, we had nothing to do with the value of houses going up, kind of a reverse mandate there. And now we're hearing him say that stocks are cheap relative to the equity pricing that they're at today. He's not given any credit at all to the Federal Reserve for inflating stock prices by putting, $85 billion a month on the balance sheet. There's some good companies out there that are doing well that deserve to have their stock price go up. But the largest driver that we have in the system today, in our opinion, is still that Federal Reserve putting in boatloads of money every month. We get asked a lot about China, other countries that we want to invest in. EEM is the emerging market ETF. We watch it a lot. About 17% of it's made up of China stocks alone. When you look at the technical charts, so this isn't talking fundamentally, this is just saying, hey, this is where money is going. EM continues to underperform. The U.S. market is actually broken through and having really, really big challenges. Part of that in the back of the strength of the U.S. dollar and other problems that are out there. Again, the United States economy may not be perfect, but it's better than in a lot of places in a lot of different ways. From an institutional leg, JP Morgan got in trouble with a big trade that it made. And this was what some people have called a victimless crime, unless you happen to be a shareholder. The bank lost a lot of money on the deal, but it didn't affect the depositor. It affected the bank. Bottom line is we all have to follow rules, big or small. And the real question the Senate's asking is not if JP Morgan's too big to fail, but are some of the people too big to jail? It does appear that they knew some of the things were happening before they reported it to the public, and that's probably not a good plan. The story leg, my favorite of the legs, this is where my demographic trends come into play. It's really my job to try to connect the polka dots of the overall economy with what's going on with the work that Adam and Andrew and Larry and Don and the rest of the crew do. Interestingly enough, when you look at social media, I use LinkedIn a lot. You can find me at Big Joe Clark. We use Facebook. You know, we've been involved in all of this, but the social media things that have come on have all flopped from a stock price except LinkedIn. It does seem to do a very good job at getting business people together to be able to communicate, get resumes out. There seems to be a viable business interest. More importantly, when you go to the LinkedIn headquarters, it's surrounded by Google buildings. Just one of those things that makes you wonder if perhaps LinkedIn is not a proxy for a way of Google to gather data. I've got a lot of time and energy and money in LinkedIn. It would be true if Google bought them. I would continue to use them in some direction. Rules to live by: the consensus rarely gets it right and almost always errs on the side of optimism, except at the bottom. That's from David Rosenberg. It's a good thought. Adam likes to say that everybody believes they can be the last one out of a burning building. Folks, we have bulls and bears that will always fight. We have an economy with what appears to be improving trajectory in some areas and a decline in trajectory in other areas. What we know we have is the Federal Reserve continuing to put money in the system. Again, I believe this is going to be a Fed-driven year, and we'll continue to watch what they have to say. From a family standpoint, if you've not got your Roth conversion started or thought about for this year, it's probably time to sit down and have that chat. Remember, the Roth conversion is a beautiful instrument that we can make a decision and really go backsies, change our mind the following year. If we haven't talked about Roth conversions, or if we've talked about them in the past, it's probably time to do that again as we work on our family focus process to get those in, make sure that we're in the most tax efficient plans possible. If you have any friends that you would like to invite, we have our free workshops coming up next week, 26th and 28th in Lafayette, Indiana. They're free at the Best Western. It's coffee and water. We've got a few clients who signed up who want to come. I'm fine with that. I basically take everything that I teach at Purdue, condense it down into a 2-night workshop along with applications. And this isn't one that you can take and go, okay, this is what we ought to do. It's one that shows you the way that we think at the Financial Enhancement Group about money and how it interrelates to planning, things that you might want to be looking on, things that we can talk about here in the office. Clearly some important issues that are out there with the tax code that are always taking place. Hey, if you're out and about on Saturday morning, don't forget to catch the radio show, 9 to 10 on WQME Saturday mornings, 10 to 11 on Shine 99. That's Sunday, and of course you can always get a copy of the Herald article found right on our website at yourlifeafterwork.com. If there's anything we can do to be of service, please don't hesitate to call. God bless. Have a great week. We'll see you again soon.